Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together. Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Paul Lopez.
And I'm Sabrina Daly.
And good morning, Belize. It's Wednesday, February 18th. Wherever you are in the country or wherever you are across the world, we want to say a blessed good morning to you. We want to thank you so much for choosing Open Your Eyes as your morning show of choice. Good morning to our TikTok viewers as well. I know they've been in tune with us for the better part of us preparing for this morning show. They get a lot of behind the scenes content.
Some inside scoop.
The lead chit chat on and get for here online. Online.
Some personal stories.
They get to hear it. So we want to thank our TikTok viewers. We're going to sign off from TikTok. Now we want to encourage you all to transition over to our Facebook and YouTube page for the actual live morning show. Sabrina, can you do us the honor and say goodbye to them?
He's not social media savvy.
And I'm just not TikTok live savvy.
Bye, guys.
But I do hope that you all are having a blessed morning wherever you are. And if you're not having the most ideal morning, I do pray that it gets better for you or that your situation is worked out throughout the course of today. We do have a show to get into, and so I want to jump right into our show lineup for this morning. We have 4 conversations planned for you all, and as always, we're going to dive deep into these conversations to learn some interesting facts. We're going to have fun as well. It's going to be insightful. In the first conversation, we will be joined by the president of the National Institute of Culture and History, a newly appointed president, that is Albert Vaughn, and they'll be in to talk about priorities and progress over at NICH. Also, in our second conversation, it's all about the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust. We're going to delve into the history of the trust and some of the work that they're currently engaged in. The Belize Healthcare Partners and Rotary Belize, they're powering Orthopedic Clinic 2026. We're going to be talking about that. Yesterday, we talked about the fiery horse as it pertains to the Chinese New Year. Well, today, we're going to continue that celebration. This time, we're going to be in the kitchen. And we're going to be cooking up a Chinese New Year dish. Let me tell you something. I was a bit envious of some of my coworkers yesterday because Chun San was spreading the love in terms of the Chinese New Year festivities.
Yeah.
Went over there.
Brittany, right?
Went over there, did an interview, talked about the Chinese New Year from Mr. Lee Mark and his team's perspective. And before I know it, food, they get this out. You know, they got any red envelope because I got one.
I have one still.
I still do.
I still save my money that they gave too.
Me too.
Okay.
In fact, I won't say how much it is, right? Because that's not important.
Yeah.
But I have it. And I went back to check last night after I saw their red envelopes, and I still have it. But what I learned from Brittany and Zenaida, one of our social media employees, yesterday, they were both in Asia studying, and what I learned from them is that you don't actually save the money.
You don't?
You don't.
Who are you? Why you save yours? I'll tell you.
Because I felt as if it brings good fortune.
I thought so
and then
too.
if you spend it, you just spend the good fortune.
So many times I could have buy a bag of plum,
I
didn't.
I had times I had to scrape up 5 cents.
Yes, you refuse to spend that $2.
You gotta tell them how
Oh boy.
Right? But yesterday they told me that you spend the money, right?
Oh no.
It's meant for spending. So it's a gift for you to spend. And I said, all right, cool. So the next time I'm in a little financial pickle, I know exactly where I could find my least small
I
change.
loved having it though.
Me too,
It's
but
so good.
it's
I think
just
that was
there.
like 3 years we had that for.
3 years ago
Yeah.
we got it, and I still have it, and I'm glad to hear you still have it.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually excited about it. I was even reading more up on the Chinese New Year and the year of the fire horse. I learned a lot about my year in particular as well, and even yours.
What
I was reading
your
up.
year?
The year of the fire ox.
Fire ox. So you
Yeah.
were a fire year.
Yeah, it was a fire
Wow.
year, and as I mentioned, it has my year speaks to hardworking and honest individuals, and you know,
Nothing describes you there.
guys.
Just kidding.
Actually, I also learned that the enemy of the fire ox is actually the goat.
Ooh.
And who did we learn yesterday was the goat? Paul is, because Paul is more on the emotional side.
That's so true.
And humble side, which is all great things, right? But apparently the ox is more like, you know, we're just focused on what we need to get
getting
done,
tasks,
work,
but that is you, Sabrina.
task driven.
Sometimes we are in the middle of a meeting in the newsroom, and you pop in with your own agenda, your own assignment, and here I am dividing myself between Sabrina, well focused on her task and in a meeting. But anyways,
Yes.
that was,
But it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
But let's jump into some of the
Correct.
things that we think you guys should know. I just want to say as well for persons who sent healing prayers my way, thank you so much. I feel a lot better after resting yesterday. I saw, I believe it was Wilbert Zelaya saying that he had the exact same symptoms. So I'm also sending you back that same healing energy and prayers as well. I could tell you what worked for me was just regular flu medicine and just resting as much as possible. I still have a little bit of like the achy eyes, but we're gonna persist and move on. But Paul, some of the things we think that you guys should know this morning starts off with BTL retirees sees breakthrough. Also, 2 imported cases of malaria confirmed. The La Ruta Maya getting new finish line. That's an interesting update there. Was the Port Loyola Polyclinic looted? I know that was a quick news piece that came out yesterday. And Reverend Jesse Jackson dies at 84. But Paul, we also want to throw in another one, as Belizeans would say, Febrata, right?
Brata.
There was a story that was also shared yesterday where information on child labor is concerned. And I know that you folks online definitely tuned in and share your thoughts on it as well. And so we're going to be diving into that a little bit later on in the conversation too. Your thoughts on child labor. Do you think that these kids are calling just additional chores child labor now? Or is it a serious thing that we should be talking about?
Yeah, indeed. So we could jump right into the conversation, and let's begin with the BTL retirees sees breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
So yesterday we got an update that the Belize Communication Workers for Justice, BCWJ, that they met with the executive team at BTL, and coming out of that meeting, one thing was certain, that these former employees will be receiving their severance pay, that they got a commitment from BTL's executive that the company will pay them severance. So you will recall that in November of last year, the CCJ made a ruling after about 10 former employees took the matter to court, and it went all the way up to the CCJ. Their contention was that they retired or were forced out in some cases from the company, and they did not receive severance payment as is required by the labor law, that they only received a pension. And it appeared as if there was an agreement between the company, or an understanding by the company, that once you got this pension plan and you leave, that you don't need severance, or that we won't pay you a severance, that's not the commitment. Well, the CCJ ruled that even in the presence of a pension plan, severance has to be paid. That was the CCJ ruling.
Yeah.
And so those 10 individuals were paid. Coming out of that now, several other former employees use that ruling as a foundation to lay claim or make claims for severance as well. And we're talking about dozens of employees. And we saw those employees emerge a few weeks ago, about a month or so ago, in a press conference. And their presence were seen in line with the whole BTL smart acquisition controversy. And their thing was, we also believe and we also demand that we get paid severance because we've worked so long for the company, we've invested in building the company, and for weeks they experienced pushback, in essence, from the company, or at least there weren't answers forthcoming fast enough from the company. And what we saw in terms of the workers' response, we saw protest. We saw weeks of protest. Days and days they were out there demanding that they receive severance, that the company pays them their severance. And the numbers continue to grow over the days and over the weeks.
Do we know about how many persons total?
That's interesting, because the numbers we saw out there were, I think it peaked at about 50, if I'm not mistaken. But coming out of yesterday's meeting, according to Miss Emily Turner, who's one of the leaders in the justice movement, according to her, BTL quoted a number of about 524 employees that are on the list in terms of receiving or that are due severance payments. And so for me, this is a perfect example of shut mouth, don't get fed. Right? That's like a colloquial saying. And they have been pressing for them to receive their payments. We've seen the Prime Minister comment on it, saying that because the CCJ has made a ruling and because we have labor laws, he is of the view that they are to be paid. And then we also heard Karim Musa, the Minister of Labor, take a similar position. He was the first to take that position, and the Prime Minister kind of echoed those sentiments. And I also think that in the face of the controversy with the BTLs, the proposed BTL smart acquisition, one thing that BTL does not need right now is any more bad press, right? So you don't need to be tackling the controversy of BTL smart acquisition and the controversy related to non-payment of severance for hundreds, now we understand, of former employees. And so it is good, in my view, for BTL to come forward and to tackle this issue, to put it behind them, to have some good press even, to say, while some may argue belated, to say that we are moving forward with paying the severance that these former employees are demanding.
I think what helped them, though, was the buy-in from Minister Karim Musa, saying, you know, even as an attorney, if they are owed this money, pay the people their man, you know. We even saw Senator Dennison out there as well, supporting his father, who also worked at BTL, and even hearing from the Prime Minister, sharing his thoughts on it. I believe that BTL probably felt that, just as you mentioned, we don't need any more negative attention than we already have. Not only that, I think of what the BCWJ was mentioning regarding monies that they intended to pay anyways if they would have gone about the original deal, paying these monies to the cable companies, the internet providers, and SpeedNet, which actually turns out less than what they had intended to dish out.
When the cable companies backed out.
Exactly. And so pay the people when they owe. You know, these are people who already gave their entire lives to this company, and now they're retired and they're trying to move on with their lives. We heard some personal stories from some of them. Our colleague Shane Williams spoke to some of the members who said that they have health conditions that they're trying to go to the hospital and deal with. Some of them, they want to invest in the continuation of their retirement as well. One person said he wanted to go back to school. These are people with real lives who gave their lives up, who gave, you know, their family time up even to devote to this company, and they just want what they're owed.
Yeah, and so So this is essentially what we're seeing right now. They're still in discussions. One would imagine that the discussions will take a while, but at least we've gone from BTL inside the building and the Belize communication workers for justice outside the building on the street demonstrating to now both parties meeting inside the boardroom and having discussions. I think this is where we want to be with all of these sort of issues, having these discussions and formulating a way forward. So we'll continue to follow this, because I know also they're also pressed where the income, where the taxes are concerned on the same severance. So they're concerned about being taxed, that severance payment being taxed. And then of course they have their position on the BTL, the proposed BTL Smart acquisition as well.
All right. Well, Paul, let's move things along. I know that a lot of people around this time of the year, they get excited about the La Ruta Maya River Challenge. Yeah. Do you follow the race? I know for Sports Monday, it's something that we tend to include. Me living in the Belize rural north, that has been
that
an annual.
House, right?
Yes, I don't have to drive, go nowhere. I could walk to the La Ruta Maya, right? And so that has been something that has been a part of my childhood experience. And I won't lie, I didn't really go to much of them because there's just a lot of people there. I probably went to maybe 2 the most, but it was something that I always knew, would bring traction in my community. But aside from that, this is a big deal, right? This is a part of, I think, the Belizean identity as well. Or one of the aspects of the Belizean identity, I guess I could say. The La Ruta Maya River Challenge brings people from all over the world. It brings participants even from all over the world, and also Belizeans from across the country and the diaspora come as well. Now there's some changes we can expect, I'm told, and it's bringing about quite a discussion as well. So when we talk finish line, starting point, and even the length of the race, I imagine there are several things that are considered for that, for the paddlers, for persons who want to get the experience to follow it as well. So what's a discussion around the potential of the finish line and how that could affect what we know the race to be? Yeah,
so what this year is going to be the 29th edition of the race, if I'm not mistaken. It's been almost 3 decades. In my young years, and I'm sure there are those out there that are older, that have more experience, like Mr. Zelaya, who keeps watch, who stays in tune. I'm sure he knows way more about the history. The race is almost as old as I am. But in my years, I've seen 2 finish lines. I've witnessed 2 finish lines. One at Bottom Dollar. That's on Northfront Street, right? The parking lot there. I've covered the finish line there. And then also now at Civic, which to me, in my understanding, was a recent move. I could be wrong. And the discussion now is about having the finish line at the Grand Resort, right? So
which would be closer.
Which, yeah, I mean, relatively close.
Yes, man, that's closer.
Yeah, but all you are taking away is the Halova Creek entrance, that little passageway, and then down through the channels into Belize City, right? I think they usually cover that within like 15 minutes, right? And they're through that area and they're at the finish line. Anyways, so it's not set in stone as yet, but here are some of the comments I'm hearing from people from La Ruta Maya fans. We hear people saying, fans have always enjoyed the suspense of which team enters the channel at Halova Creek. Yeah. Right? That's one. The lead channel where you enter when you come off the river. Let Belizeans enjoy their tradition at Belcan Bridge. Right? So that's another thing you're hearing. I don't see why it should change, and who specifically, I don't see why it should change and why specifically to this new resort that just opened last year. My thing is, I consider myself to be way more open to change than most people. Yeah. So I, in a sense, welcome the change. I welcome change way easier.
And then you could decide if it works or not, and then you can go back, right?
So when you think about the carnival route and how it changed, when you think about the finish line for the cross country and how it has changed, and when you think now about the proposition for the La Ruta Maya. But I also think about the entrepreneurial aspect of La Ruta Maya. And I question if the change is confirmed to Grand Resort, if the resort managers and operators will open the space for small entrepreneurs to go and sell their products. Because if you go out to Civic on the finish line on the finish day for La Ruta Maya day 4, you'll see a lot of small vendors out there selling produce, earning an extra income, and essentially going to Grand Resort that can be taken away from them.
Yeah, it's a private property.
It's a private property, and the resort managers would have to be accommodating to say, because they have a huge parking lot, but then you also need parking space for people because they can't park on the sidewalk, right? So for me, that's the downside. The pros of it is the security. That is what the La Ruta Maya committee is considering, the security. They're saying it's even more secure to go to the Grand Resort. And
there's also an opportunity for a Grand Resort as well.
Right, there's also an opportunity for a Grand Resort. You can't leave that out. And then there were conversations about the renovations on the Belcan Bridge, or at least the integrity of the structure where the Belcan Bridge is concerned, right? Because you know there's plans to redo the Belcan Bridge. There are studies done to show that its structure that the integrity of the structure is weakening. So there were concerns there as well, and I understand that was a part of the conversation. Change is not easy. It's not, and so we'll have to see what the final decision is for the La Ruta Maya committee, considering the entrepreneurs as well and how this boosts local economy for residents in Belize City.
I say let's feel it out. You know, if it's something.
So you're open to
I'm open to it. The same way I was when the carnival route changed. And look, now everyone loves that new route. I love the carnival route, right? Yeah. There's the sea breeze and all of that. And there were conversations about the first route, how, you know, nothing will be able to beat that route that people enjoyed before. But there's a reason why these changes happen. And ultimately, you experience it, and then you decide if it's something you're into or not. And then you can just decide if you want to, you know, be a part of the finish line, or if you're just going to stop at one of the other stops before that. But Paul, we do want to move things along. I know that we have a bunch of more topics to jump into. I really want to go to the story that we mentioned that was not on the list, though. There was a report that was put out by UNICEF on some data collection that they went about gathering. We know that UNICEF works with children and girls in particular. And so UNICEF and the Statistical Institute of Belize, SIB, carried out a survey to measure how women and children are living. Specifically, findings about how they go about working in households, labor in general, right? Now, it is being said that the findings are alarming, Paul, because it is suggesting that there is a level of child labor taking place in the country. Now, when we think child labor, we don't think of, it's not just kids having chores, right? And I think that's what's creating quite the discussion and quite the debate in the comment section of this story, because for a lot of people that saw this clip, they were saying, well, you know, different generations had different experiences with chores. Now, in this case, they are looking at child labor as children from ages 5 to even 11 handling different jobs that would be deemed as too laborious, that would have them exposed to things that they shouldn't be exposed to, levels of manual labor, maybe utensils, or I don't know, dangerous things that could bring harm to them. And so this is what we're seeing on screen here as it relates to some of the findings of child labor here in Belize. And I just want to quickly read some of the comments from it because I think it's quite interesting. We had someone here say, what era did you grow up in? Nonsense. It's called discipline and responsibilities as long as it's not too much. And that speaks to what I was telling you guys earlier regarding different generations having different views on child labor being simple chores, right? We have another person saying, and that's why these kids nowadays don't do anything but have their head in their phones and tablet all day. It's so sad that we are adopting too much American lifestyle of living. Wow, this is
you
a
have
lot.
to, let me just quickly add to this before we wrap up. You have to, honestly, you have to distinguish, Sabrina, between chores and what is child labor.
Yeah.
Right? For example, giving a child between the age of 5 to 11 or 12 a machete and telling them to go out and chop the yard or chop grass in the heat of the sun, even under the heat of the day, right? Even if it is just for an hour, that is child labor in my view, versus telling a child to do some chores in the house, wash dishes, sweep. If you have a child operating a heavy machinery in a farm, right? And exposing himself or herself to danger, even with the machete, exposing themselves to dangers, in my view, that is child labor. But I'll tell you something. Growing up, that wasn't considered child labor. The high school I went to, even at the age of 11, because I went into high school very young, when I went on suspension, you know what they did?
Yeah,
they gave me a machete and they told me go and cut the bush in the neighboring property because it's a safety concern. And I was laboring in the sun for hours cutting grass. That is child labor. But at that point, that was considered discipline, right? So generation, things change.
I want to say something really quickly because according to the report, it starts at the age of 5, right? If you're handling these heavy machinery or if you're exposed to certain things that could be harmful to you, that is considered child labor. This person commented, I was 5 years old when I first held a machete. Thanks to my parents. I learned how to use one, so now I can't say there's no work because I still go and chop with machete and get a lipe. No need for go rob no one because my parents taught me the right way, how to work honestly. So according to this comment, that is a perfect example of child labor. He was 5 years old when he held a machete, but to him, he sees it as discipline. Wow, we have to close off this conversation, but I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it. I know that we didn't have enough time to dive into it, but we do have to move things along at this time. We are going to take our first break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, our first conversation coming up is NICH's incoming president and team talks priorities and progress.
Plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, texts, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Clean and maintain your yard the best way with Honda trimmers and lawn mowers. Honda Lawn and Garden Equipment. Available at Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
They play The NEBL bounces off with a big opening weekend this Friday night at the Belize Civic Center. The Biting Tiger Sharks goes head-to-head with the upstart Cayo Western Ballers in our 7:30 p.m. opener. Then in Game 2 at 9 p.m., the big bad Belize City Defenders will try to defend the city as they come under fire from the Orange Walk Running Rebels. At the end of the first and third quarter, fans will get a chance to win cell phones, TVs, weekend stay, plus more. The first 300 kids get a free popcorn. Ozzy the Clown will be clowning around the debut of the NEBL girls. And at halftime, the big $5,000 cash Ministry of Tourism, Youth, Sports and Diaspora Relations Shooting Challenge. The General Super G alongside Champion Squad out of Miami, No Fear DJs and more. On Saturday night, 8 p.m., we head to Belmopan at the UB Gymnasium as the Belmopan Trojans look to overthrow the new Warriors from the North, the Corazal Spartans. Giveaways all night, plus live performance by Vida, sponsored by the Government of Belize.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. I went to a school at a wonderful time in America. It was a time when the Ten Commandments hung on the wall, godly principles were taught, and church attendance was encouraged. Often when someone asks me, who influenced your life the most, I have to respond by saying a gray-headed fourth grade teacher by the name of Mrs. Conyers, who was a retired Methodist missionary. She impacted my life for eternity, and yet she probably never knew it. Mrs. Conyers taught by example, but she also showed godly concern. I was reared by God-fearing parents, but we did not go to church very often. This presented a problem for me on Monday, because every Monday morning we had to send to the principal's office the percent in our class that attended Sunday school or church. Those with 100% would receive special recognition. Well, since I did not go to Sunday school, my class never received that recognition. Mrs. Conyers became concerned about me and asked if she could pick me up to go with her to church. That was all that it took. I went to Sunday school the very next Sunday, and the next year I gave my heart to Christ. And I have lived for Him and served Him ever since. I will always remember Mrs. Conyers teaching me geography and history and mathematics, but I will also remember her most for pointing me to Christ and to His church. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Haven't updated your information recently? Well, kick off the new year as a winner. RF&G Insurance is giving you a free chance to win every month. Entering is easy. Just chat with us on WhatsApp and update your information. That's it. You'll be automatically entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win awesome prizes. Don't wait. Message us on WhatsApp and update your info today. RF&G Insurance. It pays to get it right.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. This is our first conversation this morning, and as we mentioned, it's all about NICH's president and team talking priorities and progress. We are joined by the incoming president of NICH, Albert Vaughn. Also with us is the director of the Institute for Social and Cultural Research, no stranger to you guys, Rolando Cocom, and the director of the Museum of Belize and House of Culture. Iona Smiling.
Ilona.
Ilona Smiling. I'm sorry, that L looked like an I. But guys, thank you so much for joining us and welcome back. It is a pleasure having you guys here this morning. Lots to talk about where culture is concerned and the work of NICH even. I want to congratulate Mr. Vaughn for your new appointment. I know this is a big deal. It has been stirring up quite some conversation as well. So perhaps I can get an immediate reaction from you, what this means to you to be appointed as president.
Good morning, in particular to your viewers out there. I would like to first start off by saying thanks to the Minister of Culture who have the confidence and in me to lead this team. No? I would like to also say thanks to my team. I have an excellent team. There are 4 institutes and there are 4 excellent leaders in those institutes. To me, culture, the niche itself, as I say, is something that is very dear to the Minister of Culture, if you know Honorable Francis. And so, being selected or chosen to lead this team as the president, it is exciting. It is not a new work because we have been working since 2021 with the same team, with the same ministry. Going forward would mean that I would need to collaborate more with my team in specific to get the message out, to get people aware of what NICH is and what NICH represents. And so it's really exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't want to jump up and down, and because I know there are a lot of work. But what comforts me is that everybody is so passionate in their work at NICH. And so I look forward to work with everybody to enhance what they are doing, right? To make sure that they are part of whatever result come out of what NICH is bringing out here to the public.
Well, what's worthy of mentioning is really what you just identified. You have been involved in the work of NICH previously as well, as far back as 2021, and so this is no new feat, I guess I should say, for you. Perhaps just the role in general is new. But you also mentioned that you wanted you guys, the public, to be abreast with the work of NICH. And bringing along members of your team, I think, speaks to that as well.
Yes,
so
yes.
perhaps we can include in the conversation now Ms. Smiling and Mr. Kakum as well, which really encompasses just a portion of what the NICH represents as well. Let's begin with you, Ms. Smiling. We've had you on the couch before, representing the Museum of Belize and the House of Cultures. How does your work impact the overall vision and mission of NICH?
Well, you know, the museum's main role is to do the exhibitions of the items that we have. You know, we have 4 different departments, and the museum is where everything kind of intersects together. So we have like the research that is done by ISCR that helps to support the exhibits that we do. We have the artifacts that IA collects, and then we exhibit them at the museum. So yeah, the museum just really sits in the middle of everything, trying to help everyone, exhibiting, documenting, preserving, you know, our culture and history.
What I really love about your work is that a lot of the behind the scenes work that is probably getting done from the ISCR is presented through a curated experience from the Museum of Belize. And so you kind of see the finished work, I want to believe, from the Museum of Belize and perhaps the House of Cultures, but still very important what you do as well, because I imagine you're also involved in the research too.
Yes, I mean, I've always said this, sometimes we have a tendency to underestimate the work that goes into exhibitions.
Yes.
So while we do get the information from ISCR, we get the objects from IA, at the museum we still have to create the narrative and the story behind the theme that we want to present and exhibit to our audience. So it takes months of preparations, or sometimes we only have a couple weeks to do everything, get the display cases, the posters, the graphic design, the curation, the narration, everything.
Yeah.
And you know, it's always a wonderful conversations to have within the departments, because sometimes there's like a huge file, huge research done, and we get into these back and forths about what needs to be on paper, what needs to be left out. And sometimes, you know, everybody wants everything there, and I have to be like, oh no, we can only put so much out. So I always welcome those conversations. It's always interesting. I find it hilarious to hear what the different directors want within the exhibit. So we at the museum, we have that challenge of deciphering what needs to be said and what gets exhibited.
Well, we have a colleague who's very involved in the work of ISCR, and she's also very passionate, so I completely understand. I have a good idea where that passion comes from. But we're also joined by Mr. Kakam, who leads that team as well, and so he is actively involved in the research and hoping, you know, to share that and disseminate that to the public as well. Mr. Kakam, how does your role and your work tie in with what is NICH?
Yeah, good morning to all the audiences that are tuning in, and let me join you in congratulating President Vaughan on this position. I have known Mr. Vaughan over the past few years, and I can attest that, you know, this new responsibility that he has been given will be well executed. He's somebody that is very astute. He knows what needs to get done. He's able to confide in us as directors that we have the leadership ability to carry out our mandate, and I think that is an important aspect that a president should have, the ability to trust that the managers and that the staff really can perform the work that they have set out to do, and that we have the tools and the resources. I think very important, and I've seen that investment from him in terms of his advocacy as a board member and now as a president. I think that's something that we are looking forward to as directors, and I'm very pleased that the minister has chosen a president. As you know, it's a position that was vacant, and I think it signals, in my view, that we are now at a stage of more preparedness to execute the NICH goals in its entirety, in a sense of like one team, because obviously there are some people who think of NICH as separate from its divisions, and you know, I think what Mr. Van said at the start is that we are one team. The team at MOB, the team at the HOCs, we are the ones that make up NICH, and I think we have a very important goal to accomplish, and I think the Minister of Culture is very keen on making sure that we have the full support and the full capacity within the institutional responsibility now with a president to carry out our mandate. So I'm just very, very pleased about this. And then secondly, to your question about how do we fit in and our specific roles, there are several dimensions to the work of ISCR, as there is with the different divisions. But if I could remain very relevant to what is on the pipeline right now, this week, for instance, we are hosting a workshop gathering in Dangriga, the House of Culture there, again managed under Director Luona, and we are partnering with the community residents to talk about the Food Heritage Project, which I don't know if you were at the Wine and Cheese event that President Vance just pulled off with us, but that was an excellent interaction even for us in the Food Heritage Project, because we brought out some of our community knowledge bearers, as we like to call them, people who know how to cook the traditional lancha, in that case, which is traditionally fish covered in the wala leaf and then seasoned with Santa Maria herb, you know. And for many persons who interacted with us at the Wine and Cheese event, that was their first time that they, one, heard of lancha, and then secondly, tasted it. And so we had a great time there, and we have a very excellent team as well on the division of ISCR, and so there was great interaction, and we are now planning to do a more in-depth training with some of the residents in Dangriga, and coming up next month we'll be in Corozal again. The goal is to let people know traditional food, heritage food, has tremendous value for our well-being, in terms of nutrition, but also in terms of our social well-being. And it is important that we document these food, that we advocate that these food be present more and more in, like, you know, the education system, or also in the tourism sector. You know, it's not just burgers, and burgers are good, but there's a lot more that Belize can offer to the tourists, both local and international. So those are some of the new work that we have in our pipeline. And I think if I could mention just another one, we also have a very strong collaboration at the moment within the Caribbean and within Central America. Minister being both Minister of Culture and Foreign Affairs, that has become very important to NICH's mandate, that we use culture as a sphere of dialogue, of diplomacy, of building regionalism. And next week we'll be hosting some colleagues from Central America to discuss the importance of living heritage, especially for African descendants of the region. And so we will be hosting that gathering again at the Belize City House of Culture. So you can see how important these dynamics are, especially between ISCR and the Museum of Belize and the Houses of Culture, as spaces where people can come to gather, to interact, to share their stories, their artifacts, and also their creative expressions, their dance, their music, and so on. And so I'm very pleased that we are now at this stage of reigniting some of these other aspects of our work and giving greater visibility. I must say, President Van, one of the first meeting that he has called for us was a communication strategy meeting where we're already outlining how is it that we're going to tell our stories better. And so those are some of the things that I think we can expect into 2026.
Speaking about telling stories, President Vaughan, how important is the work that NICH does in defining cultural and national identity for Belize?
Well, I think Director Kokom had said a lot on that line a while ago. We get the project team out there, and what we want to do is to get Belizean to capture what we are doing. He spoke about the wine night we had, where we brought out the 4 institute. People were amazed. First time some people from Belize have seen what ISCR have put out there. We have other institute like the IA. They are doing a whole lot of other works where we are trying to bring the site up to a standard Belizean can say, listen, yes, this is part of me. This is the culture of us. Do you understand me? So that is in line with what we want to achieve. What you're asking me, we want people to understand that don't just pass what we call the old government house. There are a legacy of information in there, right? It's for the people of Belize, so they can pass, stop there, take their camera, goes in there, get the information, connect, and say what this house is about, right? Where Director Smiling is, where the old jail is. Belize can pass there and they see the Museum of Belize, but they don't understand what is in there. So to answer your question, that is what we want to do. We want to give ownership. We want Belizean to understand this us culture.
Miss Smiling, what I'm also hearing is that the work in a whole has a lot to do with preserving. It has a lot to do with defining, and it also has a lot to do with exposing. Is that fair to say?
No, that is completely fair to say. I think one of the biggest priorities that all institutions under NICH is trying to accomplish under Director Vaughan's leadership now would be to ensure that everybody knows that all 4 institutions are available and accessible to them. So then that means we as the institute directors need to ensure that whatever it is that we have within our institute is being made available and accessible. So one of the things that I know we are trying to do at the museum is trying to create more of a more accessible way to research what we have within our museum. One of the biggest things that I've been pushing is for more conservation of the works that we house within the museum. Most museums, they have a conservation space where you can come, do your research, and get the information you need on that object. And while we have just been displaying it and using the information that we have from ISCR, now is the perfect opportunity to push beyond that, so that if you want additional information, we actually have a space for you. So that is one of the things that we have been working closely with the president to try and establish at the museum. You know, and also too, we are pushing out our membership program, which again gives you more accessibility to the museum to be a part of us, to know that whatever you are investing within the museum, we are putting back to the programs and projects that we have been doing.
Yeah, I think anybody that hasn't given themselves the chance to visit the museum, for example, don't know what they're missing out on. It's an
Yes.
amazing museum.
Yes.
When I just walking through the museum, I learn a lot.
Yeah.
Personally, about our history, about our heritage, where we come from. And it's not only the stories, it's also the artifacts that are in there. You go upstairs, you see the paintings, and it's just captivating. You see the with the birds, what do you call the thing?
Taxidermy.
Taxidermy.
Yes.
That word slipped me. And it just exposes you to a whole new world outside of what you see in the day-to-day life. And when I think about the work you all do, Mr. Kokom, I learned, just as one example, a lot about Ibotong, for example, and the existence of that area. So every time I drive through that area, it brings a whole new meaning to the historical value of just that small community and space, and even the churches that are around there, and how historically important those landmarks were to that area because of the work you all do. So I get cool see that now, because I'm saying the work goes beyond just the information, it's actually impactful on the ground.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It reminds me of, again, just what the minister has said and what is going to guide our communications for this year is that culture is who and what we are, right? And so all of our lived experiences can be connected to our history and to our heritage. And the role of NICH through its various divisions is now to make sure that Belizeans can connect to that more and more. It does require, as has been said, requires significant research, it requires significant investment. And it won't change overnight, you know, for all Belizeans to reach at the level where you're now at, Brother Paul, in terms of how important history is. But that is our goal, that is the focus, and it's a long-term goal of, as you mentioned, nation building and building this consciousness. And so I'm very pleased that you're able to already be at that stage, and we hope that more and more people, by reaching out to us on our various social media platform, or visiting our events, or partnering with us. You know, I always mention that there are so many partners of NICH, people who through technical or financial support are carrying out the shared goals that we have. And there are also people who are even operating outside of NICH who should be applauded in making sure that art and culture is happening in the most remote communities across this country.
Well, as we wind down this conversation, I want to bring it back to Mr. Vaughn and just get some final thoughts from you in terms of what are some immediate things that you want to see be put into effect under your leadership.
A lot of things. But one of the things I think we need to start on, and I think that has been some weakness, not only at NICH, many other institutions, the infrastructure. The infrastructure is so important. I mean, it's coming on the scene in 2020, 21, when we look at the infrastructure at NICH, I mean, it's only for the strong heart. We have now put the Bliss, we have collaborated, put the Bliss now in a better position. The AC is now working, there is comfort in there, people are now using the Bliss. We can't, I mean, they say there are so much people who wants to use the Bliss, right? We have many other programs, right? I think we had Big Tune in the day, we're drawing some big artists. And, you know, we want to look at IA, we want to make those sites more accessible to Belizean. We're talking about electrifying those sites, right? We're starting that already with making the infrastructure there that Belizean can, you know. So important that we look at all of these sites. We're having at the what we call the old government house, which is the House of Culture, where we have MOBA. It's a new museum, and we're looking to put the music museum to the at the top. So that's where we want to strengthen. We want to collaborate with Ministry of Education when it comes to the Festival of the Arts, so we could get the Festival of the Arts far more advanced. We want to move it from where it is. Not that it is bad, but we want. That's what we want to do at the end of our term. Our team wants to look back and say, listen, this is what we have accomplished. We have moved NICH to the next standard. And we can do that if we don't have the support of the minister who support NICH. I can't tell you how much. He is very, when it comes to NICH, he is very, very, very supportive and wants only the best that culture could be out there. So you listen to the two directors here, and this what you're getting from them is the team. If this team continue to be this strong, NICH will get better. So the next move now is to look at the House of Cultures in Banquitas, the House of Culture in Cisse, where this week we are meeting in Punta Gorda, where we want to open a new House of Culture. So we met with the minister this week. Friday we're going to meet BTIA and we're going to have a conversation how to get that House of Culture open. So it's amazing. I mean, just to sit here, I will just go on and on and on. Yeah. What I want to do is to, just like what I am saying, have this opportunity where we can come on these shows and say to Belizean people, culture that you too, man.
Excellent.
All right. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been a wonderful conversation. At this time, we take another quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, our next conversation is the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust and how it started.
Get higher, more productivity, better equipment, and reliable support to keep up with a fast-moving world. At Cellular World Business Solutions, we're ready to help you boost performance across every operation. Don't let outdated technology hold you back. With our certified and supported solutions, your business stays ahead. We supply office equipment, printers, inks, and toners, software licenses, IT system assembly as your Dell Platinum and Cisco partner, appliances, and custom orders tailored to your needs. From startups to large enterprises and renowned institutions, we serve every corner of the country because no industry can afford to fall behind on technology. Let's take your business to the next level. Contact us today at 610-2494. Cellular World Business Solutions, your reliable partner in business success.
In the heart of the Cayo district, Calico Jacks is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Calico Jacks wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easier for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Calico Jacks to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we're powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
We at Fulltech Systems understand that technology isn't just a tool, it's a game changer. At home, smart devices and AI are revolutionizing daily life. In education, tech is making learning more interactive and accessible for students and educators alike. For businesses and government, it's driving innovation, streamlining operations, and unlocking growth, leveraging tech for better services, infrastructure, and security. At Fulltech Systems, we help you thrive with cutting-edge solutions, partnering with leaders like Dell, HP, Microsoft, APC, Fortinet, Cisco, and Tomy Inc. We deliver the right products for your needs, whether it's boosting efficiency, improving customer engagement, or scaling operations. Connect with us and let's drive innovation together. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you come for the price, but stay for the service.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned with us. This is our second conversation for this morning, and we have the pleasure of being joined by the chairman of the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, Mr. Albert Garcia. Mr. Garcia, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure having you on set this morning.
Thanks very much.
We want to learn more about this charitable trust and what is it that you all do. And perhaps we could go into some of your current undertakings.
Yep.
So let's start there. Let's start with the Charitable Trust. When was it established?
The Charitable Trust is established in February 25th, 2008.
2008?
Yep.
Wow.
So I think to really appreciate what we do, it's important to understand the background of where this came from.
Mm-hmm.
So B&E Charitable Trust is not B&E. First, we have to explain that, because most of the time people hear B&E Charitable Trust, the first thing it's B&E, and it's two separate entities.
Is it? But
Yes.
does it come out of, well, naturally it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does come out of B&E. So the originating founders of B&E had this goal or this vision that they wanted to create a trust that would have a percentage of revenues flow to this trust in a very unique public-private partnership between government and B&E. So the way this is set up is that we have 3 members from B&E and 3 members from the government. And we have a revolving chairman. So I'm the current chairman at this point, but it revolves every 2 years to ensure that it's fair. And their goal when they started looking for oil was looking at creating the same environment, the same opportunities that really allowed them from their perspective to find this oil, which is understanding that potential within. And it's the belief of the directors, of the originating founders, and it's actually a Belizean who is Mike Usher. So he was the person who really pioneered this vision and started everything off, and then initially brought on Susan Morris, because his belief was that there is, well, when he was younger, he used to call it there is gold, or there is black gold underneath the ground. And he believes that this could really create a massive impact and help change his country. So they tried for years, I'm talking years, from the 80s, 90s, up to 2005 when they found. They tried to discover oil, but what they did not understand, that the biggest challenge they faced was the same that all of us face, ourselves. You know, consciously people will always say, I believe this, but in the back of your mind there's always this bit of doubt. So they attended a training, or a training seminar, which really covered and helped to tap into understanding more about your potential, understanding more about how you function as a person. And what they really understood then was, okay, it's actually me. It's me that's stopping myself from doing this. So what they did is, immediately after that, they formed B&E, or Belize Natural Energy. They wanted to discover oil. Now, the pretext or the history behind this is that Belize was considered a place that it's a dead zone. You wouldn't find oil here, not in commercial quantities. But they had this belief, and it's this belief that really carried them through. So they went on, they formed companies, they formed the company, and the challenge you're facing now is financing, because if you have big oil exploration companies telling you no, chances are nobody's not going to fund that. So they had to share this dream, this belief with Irish investors, and that's actually how it started. Literally mom and pops, people putting in just a little bit, and they managed to garner enough funds to drill just about a well and a half in 500,000 acres of land. Now the average find for oil, you'd look at 1 in every 20.
20 million acres.
1 in every 20 shots.
Oh, 1 in 20 shots,
and they had just enough for 1.5. So probably about this size you're drilling.
Wow.
and they found oil on the first shot.
That's crazy.
And the second, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth.
Mm-hmm.
What's very interesting about this is that, unfortunately, Mike Usher passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And they found oil on the anniversary of his death 1 year later.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like, and I know you could continue with this story, but I like the whole concept of the potential within.
Yep.
Because it ties in so perfectly, as you described as well, with discovering oil,
Yep.
right? So that is an element within the earth.
Yep.
In a similar and it is very valuable. In similar fashion, there are things within us
Yes.
that are valuable, that requires some digging,
Yes.
and some exploring,
Yes.
to bring up and bring about. How does the trust stay true to that sort of operation within the individual?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because the term that they would use is it's about the oil within. So yes, it's nice
the
to
oil
find,
within.
but it's always about the oil within the individual, meaning they have this untapped potential. So for us, it's looking at creating strategic partnerships with different entities, be it from the general education perspective, be it from the social environment perspective. And what we've looked at over time is doing projects or focusing on projects that will really force you to dig in a bit more. So the first step to really having this happen is filling out our application for partnership form, and it's very rigid. I had to try it once, and I was like, okay, this does require quite a bit. So what you find is it forces you to really dig in and create this, or have this goal, this clear goal of what you want, because that is the foundation to accomplish anything. So you find that most of the times we have goals in our mind, but it's not necessarily clear. So that paper, that application forces you to really formulate, okay, what does this look like? And then there's the aspect of sustainability, because yes, it's nice to fund projects, but then if it's not sustainable, then what's the point?
Right.
So there is that sustainability component that we ask for, that really forces the individual to, let me see, okay, how can we make this sustainable? How can we make this a long-term thing versus just a quick fix? So these are things that we start with, and from there it's then looking at the right partners, you know. What is your ethos? What is your goal? What is the goal of your organization? Be it if it's a school who may need some help initially with just the education or just the training programs that may make a difference. Like I remember a couple of years ago, this was very special to us, I'd say. We had a group of young ladies, this is from Orange Walk. They lived in a very remote area of Orange Walk. And the women came together, they had the women group. They figured, okay, well, we need to do something. So they filled out the form. What they requested was grant funding for solar panels. So they could create their store, because it's actually right at the river, at the M River bank. And from there now they're selling to tourists who pass through. So it becomes sustainable and long-lasting versus just a quick fix.
And so you all partnered with them?
Yeah, well, we didn't get to that part, sorry. So we do provide grant funding. We provide grant funding for the general education and the social environment areas, with the emphasis on empowerment and sustainability. Those are two main things that we always look at, because that's what makes it long-lasting. That's what makes it make sense for us. And the easiest way I think I could put this is in Cruffy terminology. We prefer teach you of a fish than give it a fish.
Yeah.
Because then that keeps it going. If we give you the fish, that creates dependence, which is not what we're looking for. We're looking for you to, as you would put it earlier, you know, find that oil within, find that potential
within. Yeah. So what projects or initiatives are you all currently partnering with?
Right now we have, this is from an educational perspective, but we would feel it still sort of serves the social environment, which is Restore Belize. So I don't know if you know about this program. This started in 2012.
Restore Belize?
Yep.
Yes, I'm familiar with Restore Belize.
So we have been the biggest donor to that program since. So since 2012, we've donated just under $500,000, helping 184 students. So what we looked at with this was, it was something different than just an after-school program. It was really getting in there and working with the kids at risk, kids who may think that, you know what, I don't know if I'll be able to make it. And the success rate with them has been, as I would say, beyond amazing. Meeting with the kids, interacting with the kids, and seeing that life, I'd call it, that light in them, that, you know, they may think that initially there was limitations, and you see that growing, that, hey, you know what, I want to be a pilot, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a teacher. I met one who wanted to be a Coast Guard. He was very inspired by the Coast Guard. So we find that by starting at that point with them, with this specific project in mind, it has really made a difference over the course of the past. It's 14 years now that I'm looking at it. Outside of that, we've been looking at also helping in terms of infrastructural development. So we just finished renovating 3 classrooms in Carmelita. It was somewhat, I don't want to use the term dilapidated, but they really needed some help. And they requested that from us. We also looked at the rural areas, because currently we're really engaged with the rural areas a lot more, because we do know they don't have the same level of access to funding as you may have within the city. So we looked at Belize Rural. We currently just finished constructing a classroom in Orange Rock in the Baptist.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the oil industry is doing right now. I think I just have to go to the SIB stats and I could get some data on it.
Yep.
But what's the sustainability of the trust look like at the moment?
In terms of sustainability, we look at investments as well. So the idea of the trust was for it to live past B&E. That was it. It wasn't just to say, okay, we're going to be dependent on funds coming in. So what we've looked at is diversifying the portfolio, finding different investments that help to keep us going. Currently, we're actually looking at new investments. So this is something we're always looking at to ensure the fund keeps growing and that it keeps creating or making this impact to other Belizeans. So sustainability, again, is a very key part or a key thing for us. And I mean, if anyone is looking in and if you have investment ideas, different things, we're quite open to that.
At what stage of the year do you all open for applications for those interested in partnering with you all?
So we're actually starting our new fiscal year ending of March. It's in line with government. So we are open for applications. Then if you need to contact, you could contact. Well, our office is actually right below Bell Trade in Belmopan. So I think that's the easiest way to put it together at 3401 Mountain View Boulevard. So you can stop by the office. If not, you can look us up because we also have our website, which is BNE, Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust. You put it in Google and you'll find it right there. And you'll see there is an application form. You'll see the different programs that we've done throughout the course of the, it's going on almost 18 years this year.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add that is of importance for our audience to note?
I think one of the main things I really want to emphasize at this point is we're here to help, one, but for people to look at and really believe in themselves. And if you need assistance with that, please reach out. Please visit our website, please send in an application, and really understand that the only limiting factor would be yourself and your mindset.
Oh, Mr. Garcia, thank you so much for joining us on set this morning. This was very eye-opening, insightful, and I do wish you and your team all the best in your initiatives and endeavors.
Yes.
All right, so with that, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we have more Open Your Eyes for you, so you don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
My data done, and I really need to get my ARA out today.
Really? Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that works?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart Group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
Need a fresh new kitchen, flip that switch ignition. GE appliances shine. Every knob, every line, all align and turn the shower on. Feel gold, cooler in the chrome. So bold from the tiles to the tiny screws. We've got the wow you'll choose. All in one place. Design Depot. Everything you need for the life you want. Let's go. From the floor to the paint to the patio glow. Build it up, light it up. Watch your dream home grow. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place.
Design Depot. All in one place.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, text, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio, 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
I crossed borders in Central America, searching for the stories behind the places we think we know. I'm Sabrina Daly, traveling as a Belizean, curious about the culture, the people, and the experiences that make each destination stand out. From the spirited landscapes of Honduras to the evolving heartbeat of El Salvador.
Go pupusas!
This journey explores what it really feels like to travel our region. This is Across Borders.
Welcome back. This is our third conversation, and it's all about the Belize Healthcare Partners and Rotary Belize Powering Orthopedic Clinic 2026. Now, this is the Rotary Club in Belmopan, and we are joined virtually by Erwin Wills. He's the Public Director and President-elect. Good morning, Erwin. Such a pleasure having you here with us, albeit virtually, still very much appreciated.
Yes, good morning. Glad to be here. Again, I wish I would have been there in person, but
circumstances have me online, but I'm glad to be here.
That's fine.
All
Thank
right,
you.
that is fine after all. Now I know that the Rotary Club, they have several different branches and different versions in the parts of the country. And so you are representing the Belmopan Club. It's a pleasure having you here again. Talk to us about the work that you are doing and how it has involved the healthcare partners of Belize's recent fundraiser.
Okay, so we are currently in the middle of our Belize Children's Project, which is the Rotary Club of Belmopan's flagship project. So, like you mentioned, there are many clubs around the country, and each club has their flagship project. Our one sees us bringing in voluntarily a medical team, an orthopedic medical team from the US, to do free clinics in terms of screening and, of course, general advice to Belizean children under the age of 18 countrywide. From these clinics, we identify children who need to go for advanced surgeries in the US, and we take them free of cost. We cover their medical expenses. We assist with their documents. We assist with their stays in the US, all free of cost. And of course, it also includes plane tickets and transportations. And this is where the partnership comes in, of course, with healthcare partners, because today, actually, at 9 a.m., we'll be hosting our Belize City Clinic. So our orthopedic medical team will be at the Belize healthcare partners. Again, free of cost. We encourage walk-ins. If you have a child who is in need of orthopedic care, this is primarily bones. Maybe they have club foot, maybe they have an issue with their hand, with their leg. Please bring them in free of cost. We're open to the public, and we will try our best to see everyone who shows up. So if that means we go after into the night, it's been done before, but our teams are here to serve.
What sort of services will the team offer? Will they do testing, diagnostic, treatment, offer medication? What are we looking at?
So right now, we're not offering treatment or medication. It's primarily screening. Screening, yes. So of course, this comes with the small, as we call it, X-rays that are needed here and there at the location. But of course, when it comes to medication, we would prefer that is being done in a controlled environment. So for example, if we identify a child who needs to go for an advanced surgery, that's where the actual medical care comes in. So we essentially adopt the child under Rotary. And this is in partnership with the Rotary District 6510 in Illinois. And that's where a lot of the funding comes from. So we send the child to Shriners Children's Hospital in the US. That's where the Rotary clubs in Illinois come in, and they assist as well. But of course, here locally in Belize, we assist primarily with the screening at the clinics.
That's what I actually wanted to ask next, the value of some of the services that you guys are providing, which, as you mentioned, is free. A lot of families would find a huge challenge to meet, but you are providing this not only locally here, but also giving them an opportunity to get some of those services outside the country as well. If you're able to put a value on some of that service, how would you explain that?
So we don't like to put a monetary value because we don't like, first of all, to scare families, because let's say you show up and then we identify an issue and your first thing you're worried about is money. So we don't like to put a monetary value, but if it's a large amount, yes, but it's an amount that we raise funds throughout the year to support. So if families show up and they're identified as a child who needs to go for care, it's totally free of cost to them. And of course, so far, we've helped over 455 Belizeans since 1972.
Wow.
That's when the project began. And we commit to care up to the age of 18. So if you bring a child that's 2 years old today, let's say they have club foot, we send them to the US, they do their surgery, they come back home. We provide care up to the age of 18. So every year that we have the clinic, you can bring the child back. The doctors will reevaluate you. If you need to go back for a surgery throughout the coming years, that's part of the commitment as well from the Rotary Club of Belmopan.
How does an initiative like this ties into the Rotary Club's overall goals and objectives?
So every year we have a team, and last year was the magic of Rotary. And as you would imagine, as Amrita mentioned, the financial cost. once that's removed, it really feels like magic. You're giving the child a second opportunity at life. And we've had instances where we've seen children go, and I use clubfoot because it's a easy example to resonate with the public. We see children go with clubfoot, they leave Belize with clubfoot, and they come back home. And when we meet them at the airport, because we drop them off and we pick them up at the airport, they come out of the airport running. And that in itself, it feels like magic.
Yeah.
You see the child smiling. They weren't able to smile like this before. Just yesterday, or Monday, sorry, when we were at the Belmopan Western Regional Hospital, the children, they literally ran to the medical team when they saw them again and hugged them, because these were the same people who were with them in the US, and now seeing them back at home, it was just emotional. So the magic of Rotary, as we call it. But this year's Unite for Good. So we're uniting with our partners, such as Belize Healthcare Partners, to, of course, do good in the community.
And you're also heavily invested in that magic as well. Tell us a bit about your journey. You are the recent president-elect. What has it been like for you?
So it's been interesting. It's been fun. It's been a learning experience. So the Rotary year begins July of every year. So currently I'm shadowing the current president, which is Adel Katsim Sanchez.
Okay.
So I take over officially in July. But of course, being the PR, it helps me identify the different initiatives we have going on currently, familiarize myself with it. So when July comes over, hopefully it's a smooth transition and we continue the same projects that we're going on right now. But it's a learning curve, but it's one I'm excited to tackle on, because when you see the results of the projects your club and other clubs are doing, it really makes it all worth it.
How do persons interested in being a part of these types of initiatives and forming a part of the group or becoming a member, if you would, how do they go about doing that?
So we always encourage new members. I know there's a misconception, I would say, that the Rotary Club is exclusive. While we're selective with our members, I think that's a natural process of any organization. We welcome anyone. For Belmopan specifically, we have our meetings every Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Bullfrog Hotel. If you're from Belmopan, you know the location. So it's every Tuesdays at 6 p.m. The process of membership is that you show up for 3 meetings, we see your commitment, you submit your CV. Of course, it's a professional organization, and that's where the club would then evaluate based on your commitment to the club so far, your interaction, of course, your CV, if you're going to be accepted as a member. But it's a process that we welcome everyone to try. Of course, we're looking for new talents. So if you come with a professional experience, we'd love to use that in our club. So let's say you're an accountant, perhaps you can serve as a club treasurer, or let's say you are an artist, perhaps you can serve as the club's image creator, and so forth. So we try to get individuals with different talents and professional fields to assist with the club.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now I want to go back again to the clinic that will be taking place this morning at 9 a.m. just to remind our viewers of the services that they can take advantage of. As you mentioned, orthopedic services includes bones, anything that has to do with limbs as well. So please expand on that.
Yes, so when we mention orthopedic, we're not limiting to just the example of clubfoot that I mentioned, but we see children with issues that are affecting their neck, their spine, shoulders, arms, elbows, hands, and of course, any bone-related issue or abnormality, I should say. So even if it's an issue that you don't know what it is yet, but you can feel an abnormality in their bone, perhaps they have a small bump in their arm, or anything. We've even had children come in with face fractures. So it isn't necessarily a limb issue, but it's anything with your bone. Please come in. The screenings are free of cost. It's first come, first serve. So no appointment needed. It's going to be at the Belize Healthcare Partners compound at 9 a.m. And of course, we go throughout the day depending on how the number of people show up. But it starts at 9 a.m. We see return children first. So for example, if you've gone to the US for a surgery before, we will see you first just to make sure the screening is done. Then we see new patients afterwards. So it's going to be an all-day event.
All right. And do you have any future projects that we can expect aside from this one?
So I'd like to mention that, and you bring up a good point with finances. This project isn't cheap, unfortunately, but we do want to mention that we do have our yearly major fundraiser, and I know one of the guests mentioned a similar name earlier. We have what we call the Wine and Cheese event here for the Belmont Fan Club. And this is usually held at the Spanish Lookout Road at Oak Ridge Venues. Not sure if you guys are familiar with the location. It looks like a barn. Yes, so we have our big wine and cheese event. We have a live auction there. We get a lot of sponsors, and of course, this is where primarily a large sum of our funds come from. So this is going to be held later in our year. We're going to be posting a flyer on our Facebook page. We're thinking it somewhere around October. So we encourage those who can, please attend the event. This directly supports the Belize Children's Project. And of course, you could help change a child's life by just purchasing wine and purchasing cheese.
Excellent. Well, Erwin, it has been a pleasure having you on. I know that there are a lot of activities that we look forward to coming out of the Rotary, and I know that many people, even if they're not a part of the club, they do support the work of the Rotary as well. I would like to also ask you in terms of what you would like to contribute as president. You said that you'll be coming on officially in July. Is there anything close to your heart that you'd like to see come to fruition under your leadership?
Well, we like to joke around internally in our club specifically. The Rotary is a bit of an older person organization. So to see someone from the younger youth side being at the helm, my goal would be to change that image if possible.
Yeah.
That it's not really for old, ageable professionals to join.
People with money.
Youth can join. Yes, youth can join. We encourage, of course, up to the age of 18. But of course, that's one of the images I want to change. Show that you can be a part of a club that's making an impact in the community regardless of your age. So that's one of the images I want to push, that the youths can also be a part of this project or this community.
All right.
Excellent.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure having you here once more, Erwin, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
No problem.
All right. We are going to take another quick break, but before we do that, we want to take you guys on a quick adventure all the way to Caves Branch. I know that some of you have some adventure planning up for the weekend, and so on this hump day, we're going to give you a treat on some things that you can do going to Caves Branch.
There are many amenities at the Ian Anderson Cave Branch, and besides all of the cave tubing, I am going to try the famous cheese house. Making cheese is not that famous in Belize, so we will be starting that process here today, and hopefully I get to sample some really good flavors. So here we have Miss Charitable at Ian Anderson Cave Branch, here to talk to us a little bit about how she is the cheese maker here. So tell us a little bit about the cheese making process and how long you have been doing it.
Okay, we make 12 different kind of cheeses here at Ian Anderson Cave Branch Cheese House. We make 7 of them that are aged, and the balance are fresh cheeses. They're all made out of cow's milk, unpasteurized milk. We don't pasteurize our milk, and we don't add any additives to our cheese. All we use is 2 types of ingredients. We use a culture that is to raise the acidity level of the milk, and we use the enzyme to curdle the milk like in 15-20 minutes. That's all we use. What makes the different cheese is the different manipulation that we do on the curds, like the different cutting, the different temperature level, the different acidity level. That's what makes the different cheese. So we make 12 different kind of cheeses, and we make the Parmesan cheese. It's an Italian style cheese. We also do Spressa. It's an Italian style cheese again. It's a hard cheese, similar to the Parmesan. We also do another one that is called the Trappist cheese. It's a European style cheese. This cheese is a semi-hard cheese. We also do another one that is called the Old Brebender. It's a Belgium style cheese. Then we also do the triple cream camembert. We do the Mr. Stinky. It's a It's a blue cheese recipe.
Okay.
That
explains it. So what do we have here in front of us?
Okay, in front of us we have a feta cheese. I would say this cheese is the easiest cheese to make. We don't have to warm the milk on this one here. We add the culture, then we add the enzyme in 10 minutes. We add the enzyme. It takes 40 to 45 minutes to form a curd.
Okay.
And then from there we cut the curds like a pea size. Then after that we stir the curds for 15 minutes. And then it's ready to put in the molds. This takes 2 months to age.
Okay.
When we put it in, we need to flip it to keep the moisture level on the cheese. So we need, so that it drains properly, we need to keep on flipping, because if not, the moisture will be on one side of the cheese, the bottom part, and then the top part is going to be dry. So we need to keep on flipping it. You can't be afraid. I mean, you just have to.
Because no, see, you look like.
We're gonna start with the provolone cheese, because this is the milder cheese we have.
This is the one that you said was the hardest one to.
Yes, this is the hardest one to make. So this is how it looks, and this is how it looks when it's already cut. So this is the one we are gonna taste. The difference between this and this is this you have to have a high pH level than this one here. So this is a semi-hard cheese, and actually this is a soft cheese, softer cheese to this one here.
And then you have the Trappist.
Then we have the Trappist cheese. This is also a semi-hard cheese, and this one here is similarly made than the old Barbender. Just different temperatures that we raise.
And then this is my favorite one.
And the Parmesan cheese. The Parmesan cheese, and this is a hard cheese.
Okay. And then this is the one we just were flipping.
The feta cheese.
The feta cheese.
Yes.
Can I have it? Okay, so this is what it looks like after it's already flipped 100 million. Okay, so this is the
provolone.
Sounds very fun.
And this cheese, it melts just like the mozzarella cheese. Once you heat it, it melts. We have the other one. This is the old Barbender here, and this is the sharper one that we have.
Barbender. So this is sharper than the. So we're going sharp.
Yeah, the texture of the provolone, you would see it look more smoother than the old Barbender. This is because of the way we make it. It's because it goes by layer. Okay. But this one here is pressed for just 4 hours, and it still have little holes in it, so it gets a little bit more drier than the provolone.
Okay.
The best to keep it, fresh is to keep it in blocks. And then because our cheeses doesn't have any anti-mold, so if you shred it, it might get moldy on you. So if you have it like this, then it's more easier to clean with the brine.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
That was a great experience. Can I have more cheese, please?
So I am here with the owner of Ian Anderson's Cave Branch. Ian Anderson.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of this place?
Well, first of all, it's a delight to be with you today, so thank you very much for coming. Caves Branch started about 28 years ago as a very rustic camping ground. In those days, most all tourists that came to Belize were backpackers, and they were looking for some place to camp, so that's how we started. Now, over the last 28 years, we've gone from a rustic campground with outhouses, bathing in the river, and cooking with firewood to what you have today.
How many rooms do you have at the lodge?
Lodge, we have a total of 26 different rooms. We have canopy tree houses, 2-bedroom tree houses, riverview tree houses, and then we have our jungle cabanas, our suites, and the bungalows. A nice selection for a large variety of guests. So I was the first one to start caving in this country. No one else did it at that time. Others followed throughout the years, until now, from my understanding, is that caving is the #1 inland adventure in the entire country.
It is, yes.
So I am very proud that we were the ones that initially started it way back. I mean, we're going back 28 years ago.
And that involves cave tubing and just walking in to
Sure. Our first adventure was cave tubing. So this is our botanical garden. We have a nursery of about 800 or 900 plants right now. We donate a lot of those plants to different schools that are looking to start little gardening programs at their own school. We teach kids here how to go out into the jungle and how to collect a bromeliad or an orchid from the wilds safely so that the plants aren't being damaged. These are all epiphytes. That means that they grow on a tree and they use their roots to hold on to the tree, but they absorb their nutrients through the leaves. We have one of the highest rated scientific gardens in Central America, because everything that we have in there, or about 97% of our entire collection, was located and collected from in situ, meaning in place. Wow. And we recorded the altitude, longitude, latitude, the altitude, the rainfall, the wind directions, and all that's documented scientifically.
What would you say is the tourist's best experience at Caves Branch?
I would say that the number one experience at Caves Branch is our staff. The people just rave about our staff. And what's so good about the staff is they're nice people. That's it. When we look at hiring employees, we don't look for experience or how many years they've been in the hotel industry or the tourism industry. We look at nice people. That's what we look for, nice kids. And if they're nice, then we can train them. It's been 2 hard years of people being hospitalized and unfortunately dying, and these people being there 18, 20-hour shifts, having to deal with all the heartbreak. So since it's Women's Month right now, I am going to be sending 21 letters of invitation to 21 healthcare workers to be given out by the hospital, and inviting them to Caves Branch for a night with meals, dinner and breakfast, an adventure included if they want to, as a chance for us to say thank you very much to them and to give them a little bit of a, even if it's only for a night or for 2 days, a little bit of a respite, a break on what they've been going through. So to all the healthcare workers around Belize, but especially Carl Houston Memorial Hospital, for the tremendous job they've done, and I thank them very, very much for it.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, text, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a 3-0 getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Clean and maintain your yard the best way with Honda trimmers and lawn mowers. Honda Lawn and Garden Equipment, available at Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
The NEBL bounces off with a big opening weekend this Friday night at the Belize Civic Center. The Biting Tiger Sharks goes head-to-head with the upstart Cayo Western Ballers in our 7:30 p.m. opener. Then in Game 2 at 9 p.m., the big bad Belize City Defenders will try to defend the city as they come under fire from the Orange Walk Running Rebels. At the end of the first and third quarter, fans will get a chance to win cell phones, TVs, weekend stay, plus more. The first 300 kids get a free popcorn. Ozzy the Clown will be clowning around the debut of the NEBL girls. And at halftime, the big $5,000 cash Ministry of Tourism, Youth, Sports and Diaspora Relations Shooting Challenge. The General Super G alongside Champion Squad out of Miami, No Fear DJs and more. On Saturday night, 8 p.m., we head to Belmopan at the UB Gymnasium as the Belmopan Trojans look to overthrow the new Warriors from the North, the Corazal Spartans. Giveaways all night, plus live performance by Vida, sponsored by the Government of Belize.
Every day, the demand on your business get higher. More productivity, better equipment, and reliable support to keep up with a fast-moving world. At Cellular World Business Solutions, we're ready to help you boost performance across every operation. Don't let outdated technology hold you back. With our certified and supported solutions, your business stays ahead. We supply office equipment, printers, inks, and toners, software licenses, IT system assembly as your Dell Platinum and Cisco partner, appliances, and custom orders tailored to your needs. From startups to large enterprises and renowned institutions, we serve every corner of the country because no industry can afford to fall behind on technology. Let's take your business to the next level. Contact us today at 610-2494. Cellular World Business Solutions, your reliable partner in business success.
In the heart of the Cayo district, Calico Jacks is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Calico Jacks wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the Charitable Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easier for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Calico Jacks to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
Alrighty, we are back, and this is our final conversation. I'm joined by Zeeling Lee. She's the owner of Yo-Yo's Catering, and it's a pleasure having you here, Z. I know that you are celebrating a big event in your culture, which is the New Year. I understand that it's kind of like a few days of festivities, yes?
Actually, like how Chinese New Year, just like the Christmas and Thanksgiving, and it's like for family gathering, reunion, and celebrate a festival, and then yeah, so like the family members will go back home from far, like spend like a week of like 2 weeks time with the family.
Oh, okay. So it does take a few days of recognizing and celebration. Now, we also we've been talking about it for the past 2 days. This year is the year of the fire horse. What does that mean to you?
It's like each year it will present different animals. I mean, each year is like it's just like how each year it belongs to like a different animal year. So like this year is like a horse year. So we like to have the good signs.
Yeah.
So
different things that you could expect about the year based on the animal, right? And so I understand that this year is about like freedom and passion and endurance, kind of like what a horse would represent, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, and now I know that we are going to dive into some different things about your culture. So aside from the New Year, you also wanted to teach me some writing.
Oh yeah, because how whenever Chinese New Year comes, so we Chinese we like the red color because red color presents good luck and good fortune.
Okay.
So we will write all the good luck meaning Chinese words, couplets, and also especially one of the words is really famous. Just this words. This means good fortune and good luck, happiness, wealthiness. So I'm going to teach you to write it in an easy way.
Okay, well please, I brought a marker with me.
Okay, so what you need to do, I'm going to show you, right? So what you need to do is just need to write 100 right here.
100.
And then you write 11. And then 3 stroke. This one is longer, the other 2 shorter. And then put a plus right over here.
That's
it. This is way. So I would like you to.
Yes.
So I would like you to write it.
Okay. All right.
It's
so we
easy,
begin
right?
with 100. And then
11.
11.
And then 3 stroke. The one in the middle is longer. And then the other one is much smaller. Yeah.
2.
Then a plus in the circle.
Plus in the circle.
And
that's it.
Then you turn. So this is. That means like this is a word.
I love it.
So I will show you that how we write it with a stroke in Chinese, right?
Okay.
So this is the word that we write.
Oh wow.
So it's similar. Your one and this one is similar, but this one is like in a cutie way.
So when we turn it that way. Oh.
So this is like the dots, and then it's similar.
So okay, so see guys, so this is the one that I did, which started that way. However, when you turn it like that,
so you hold this on here, and hold this on here.
It looks like that. And you said this means what?
This means good fortune, happiness, and good luck, and wealthiness, happiness, like all the good fortunes. Good well-being.
Good well-being. This is so cool. Is there another word that you can teach me?
Yeah, we also have the words I write here.
Okay.
And I think that will be complicated for you to write, but I write it down here.
Okay.
So like this is in we will have the Chinese couplets in the Chinese New Year. We will write different of those good luck keywords on the paper. I mean on the red papers like this one, of like red color like this, and we will put it right up on the door, door side.
So you would place certain words on your door?
In China, yes, but here in Belize, like it's kind of different.
Okay, so what are some of the traditions that you still keep as a Chinese person, and even celebrating the New Year? What are some things that you still do?
We still will just like cook like some nice food and then celebrating with with the families.
Okay.
And like the dumpling and glutinous rice ball, and we will prepare chicken, like roasted dog, or probably like fish, like vegetables, the Chinese green vegetables, like those meaning symbolize good meanings.
Okay.
Yeah, and like shrimp in Chinese is like ha, so it kind of similar to the words laughing, ha ha ha. So we will cook shrimp also.
Shrimp.
Yeah, and the fish means like it surplus like for the year, 年年有余. So it sounds like the words in Chinese, the surplus of the year. 年年有余.
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 No, 年年有余.
年年有余.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
So
So you were showing me some other words that what does these mean?
So these words right over here means like wish you prosperity and good fortune, and all the money come generously in. Come generous in.
Oh, okay. So money coming generously in. So to you.
To the house.
Okay, got it.
And also we have like this one, great fortune and great favor. And this one it means everything comes the way that as you hope.
Oh wow. I just think language and writing, it's so amazing when you think of that. Of course, for me, the only thing I know, or the only language I know, is English and Spanish. But to see a totally different language being written, it's beautiful.
This one right here means right here, everlasting peace year after year.
Everlasting peace year after year.
And this one means be promoted higher and higher position.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so those are all the we have more though, but I just write like certain meaningful one here, but we have more those Chinese words that presents good fortune, good well-beings, good luck, and yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of the food. You are also the owner of Yo-Yo's Catering. Are these some of the items that people could purchase when they get food from Yo-Yo's Catering?
Oh yeah, but I do different variety of things, but then I just make these two, like people could get the dumpling from me. And I mean, if they interested in this rice glutinous rice, and they also could.
Rice glutinous?
This is glutinous rice bowl.
Is this like a soup?
This is a soup.
Okay.
We have two
Look
different
at this, guys. Tell me more about it, yes?
We have two different ways to make this glutinous rice bowl. One is the salty one, this one present here, and the next one is the sweet one. The sweet one is with, we could put the filling peanut jam, we could put the sesame fillings inside. It's really tasty.
So you said this is a salted one?
Yeah, this is a salty one. Actually, like in the Chinese New Year, the family gathering together will make this one. My mom always make this one in the Chinese New Year Eve.
So this is onions. I see that there,
no,
right?
That's
not onion? Oh, I thought it was onions.
That is radish.
Radish, and then this is what?
Seaweed.
Seaweed.
And then the round bowl is a glutinous rice bowl.
Okay, so I'll try, guys. I'll try it. So, it looks very unique. Unlike anything I've tried before. I think I got all of them in there. Okay. And you said it's supposed to be salty.
It's salty, yeah.
Okay.
It's a salty soup. How do you like it?
It's very, yeah, I do taste like some fishiness to it.
Actually, when you taste the fish, I think that the seaweed.
The seaweed, okay.
Yeah, the seaweed bring the seafood taste, and then you try the bar, right?
I did.
It's kind of glutinous.
Well, I don't know what that is.
Actually, you see the rice, we have the regular rice, right? We also have the other type of the rice, it's the glutinous rice. I think you could purchase it from Golden Bee.
Okay, got it.
So just like they will use the rice and grind it into powder.
Okay.
So it turns into glutinous rice flour. So you use that to make this rice bowl.
Oh, it's good. I'm trying to think of another word that it tastes like. It tastes like when you would get like those types of soup from restaurants.
The soup?
Oh, I can't remember the word right now.
Wonton soup?
Yeah, like wonton soup.
Wonton soup is totally different. Wonton soup is like wrapped with the flour skin. So that flour skin is made with the flour, regular flour. The flour with like it's like a like more majority is like a flour.
Okay.
And this one, the flour is different. This one is glutinous rice flour. So it's totally two different like ingredients.
Glutinous rice flour. Okay, so now we have over here wontons.
This is
dumplings.
Dumplings.
Yes, that's what I meant to
actually
say.
dumpling and wonton is similar.
Okay.
And so the feeling, like how the feeling could be any the feeling that you make, and then you just wrap it in a different way, and then wrap it with the different flour skin.
Is that a habanero pepper you have in here?
Oh yeah, I make my own sauce, so I put the habanero.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna try this next, and I know Paul would be so jealous. What do you have inside? What's the filling inside this one?
That one is pork, just because I don't have that much time, so I make the pork.
And you would sell this on a regular? This would be one of the regular items you would sell?
Yes, I have a different type of dumpling than this one.
That is really good. Oh my gosh. Paul, you would love this. Wow. So, I want to go back to the Chinese New Year once more. And I know that this is a big deal for your culture, but for us, we want to appreciate it with you. How can we do that? How would you like for us to share in the festivities with you guys?
Actually, whenever the Chinese New Year comes, whenever we meet each other, we will greeting to each other with like some of those like blessing Chinese words. So I'm going to teach you how to say it. So whenever you meet me in Chinese New Year, so you just say like majority of the Chinese people in this country speak Cantonese, right? So I will teach you like to say in Cantonese way. So you say 恭喜發財，大吉大利.
Ooh, say that again, but slowly. And we now have Paul with us here.
Just like this one. Okay, I will teach you just like those words. So you could also greeting with people with all those words, right? So because we put that we write it down in the couplet and then put it on the door. But you also put greeting with people with those words. 恭喜發財，
恭喜發財，
財源廣進，
財源廣進，
財源廣進。
財源廣進，
廣進，
廣進，
恭喜發財，財源廣進。Okay.
What does that mean?
So it means like wishing you prosperity and happiness, and also this means money. Wealth come generous in your way.
Is there a way as we wrap up to say open your eyes in Chinese?
Open your eyes?
Yeah, open your eyes. Like the show we're on open your eyes.
Oh, open your eyes. Like in Chinese?
Yeah.
張開你的眼.
Say that again, but slowly.
張開你的眼.
張開
你的眼.
你的眼.
你的 means your.
Yeah.
眼 means eyes. 張開 means open.
張開
你的眼.
Alright.
張開你的眼.
張開你的眼.
Ooh, that's cool.
Like, sorry, I
right.
lost
Well,
it.
this has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, Z, for joining us.
Yeah.
It has been a pleasure, and Happy New Year once more again to you guys.
Thank you.
We do have to wrap up this conversation and the rest of the show, though. And if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. If you'd like to give a birthday shout out, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oie@greaterbelize.com.
You can also catch us live on Facebook every weekday morning at Open Your Eyes BZ, and Instagram for all the behind the scenes content at OIE Belize.
You can even call us or text us on our OIE phone number That's 675-2555. But please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes.
When you open your eyes, open your eyes.
And start your morning right.
But until then, be sure to keep your eyes,
your mind,
and your hearts
wide open.
I'm so distracted by what we're doing. These are open your eyes?
No.
No, these aren't open your eyes.
We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and SMART, bringing people together.